Welcome to Dashing Dish. It's summertime and with it brings all of the sweet and fresh flavors that we all love. We also love a time of relaxing and indulging in the summer, but how can we do that and still eat healthy? I'm going to show you some of my favorite sweet and satisfying recipes to enjoy this summer. Our sweet summertime menu includes 3-ingredient strawberry ice cream sandwiches, a sweet treat for a hot day or anytime ice cream craving calls, a fun twist on a childhood favorite, peanut butter and jelly protein muffins, an Italian pasta salad that's gluten-free and a crowd pleaser, and a delicious high-protein boat dip that's perfect to take with you on a summertime day. I'm Katie Farrell. Today we're going to be cooking up some of my summertime favorites. Well, it's sweet summertime. I love the summer, especially when it comes to fresh produce. Berries are the best in the summertime. I'm sure everybody agrees. And so I try and look for recipes where I can use berries as much as possible. So today I'm going to make a 3-ingredient strawberry ice cream sandwich. For this recipe, you'll need 1 8-ounce container of whipped cream, 24 graham crackers, 2 cups of diced strawberries, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I just started by dicing up some strawberries here, and you could do about 1 container or this looks to be about 2 cups diced, and that'll be perfect. You really don't have to measure it out perfectly because it really is just kind of to your taste of how many strawberries go in these. So if you just go strawberry picking and you say, we have a lot of strawberries to use up, I wonder how I'll use this. This is the perfect recipe. Strawberry picking is one of my personal favorite things to do in the summertime. I go every single year because my birthday and my 2 kids' birthdays are in June. So it's such a fun tradition. Every single June, we get together, we go strawberry picking with my sister and her boys, and then we come home and we make a bunch of strawberry recipes. So it is our absolute favorite thing to do every June. And then we try and freeze a few of the strawberry desserts and we have them around my birthday, which is in the middle of June, because that is something that my mom started as a tradition when I was 1 year old. For my first birthday, she made strawberry shortcake for everybody. It was homemade. She went strawberry picking and everything. And not many people could show up to my party. For one reason or another, there were people that were sick and all kinds of things happened. And she started crying as she sat down and ate the strawberry shortcake that she made for my first birthday all alone with just me and my sisters and my dad. And to this day, we still talk about that story. But it kind of, funny enough, began a new tradition where we all go strawberry picking and enjoy strawberry treats around the time of my birthday every year. So it's turned into a really fun thing. So I just mixed together the strawberry, the whipped topping, and the vanilla extract. That's how easy it is to make the ice cream layer. Then for kind of the cookie sandwiches, we have graham crackers. And I just lined a 9x13 pan with parchment paper, and that'll just make it easier to pick it up and get it out of there. But you don't necessarily have to. It's not gonna really stick. And then we're gonna line our bottom of our pan with 1 sheet of the graham crackers. Now I'm gonna break just 1 piece there just to kind of fit on the end. And then we're gonna layer in basically our ice cream. So whipped topping is nice because it just barely freezes. It doesn't freeze and become a rock. It is still slightly soft, kind of like ice cream. And what I like to do with whipped topping is put it anywhere that you would use ice cream. I also like to even stir in protein powder and make some protein kind of ice cream. So I'll do like whipped topping, protein powder, cocoa powder, and just stir it all together and freeze it. And then there you go, just a protein-packed chocolate ice cream. So there's lots of fun ways you can use whipped topping in the summer to kind of make a fun and healthier ice cream treat. So we're just gonna spread out this whipped cream layer evenly, just as even as you can get it. Doesn't have to be perfect. And this is a fun thing to make with kids too. And you only need about 4 hours to set it, so you could make it in the morning and you can enjoy it by the afternoon. This is something that I also like to make for 4th of July. So I do like red, white, and blue. So I'll do raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and it's a fun 4th of July treat that you can have around the pool, enjoy outside. That looks perfect. So then when we get this out of the freezer in about 4 hours, you're gonna take a knife and you're just gonna cut kind of between the ice cream sandwiches and then kind of cut them again so that they're just in kind of like a sandwich form. And since the cookies are lined up pretty well, they'll have a top and a bottom, and then that whipped topping will be the ice cream filling. It is so good. You're gonna love these. And how easy were they to make? Okay, so for summer, like I mentioned, I love to use berries, but the perfect thing to go with berries is peanut butter. So whenever I think about berries, I think, how can I incorporate berries and peanut butter? So I made a peanut butter and jelly. See, that's where the berries and the peanut butter go together. Protein muffin. For this recipe, you'll need 1 1/4 cup oat flour, 1/2 cup peanut flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, 1/2 cup of sweetener, 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 1 cup of milk, and 1 cup of berries. So I love these muffins because they do have whole grains, they have fiber, they have protein in them, and they have the sweetness of berries, and it goes perfectly with the peanuts, or the peanut butter in this case. So they really do turn out quite delicious. My kids absolutely love these. They're great for lunch boxes or just to make on a summer day when they're at home. And I just think about summertime and I think that is childhood. So what could be better than a peanut butter and jelly muffin to go on a summer day when you're running around enjoying the summer day? And summertime really is a sweet time, and I try and really make the most of it with my kids. I think about how we only really have 18 summers with our kids, which is slightly sad to think about, because after that, you know, there's no guarantee that they won't go off to college or move out. So you really have 18 summers, which goes so fast. So I really do try and just pause a lot. Of course, I work from home and I try and get as much work done ahead of time for summer so that I can really just take that time and enjoy being with them outside, going to the pool, and just being present. But I will say too, we always try and take a family trip. And even though Sean and I can be really busy with work at times, we try and really make time for family trips in the summertime. So the nice thing about being in Tennessee is we kind of are pretty close to a lot of beaches, a lot of mountains. We're kind of in the middle of a lot of really neat things. So we've been able to explore a lot of things in Tennessee and nearby in the past few summers that we've been living here. It's also nice just to go on hikes. I find that summertime I have to think less about moving my body just because it's so easy to get outside and just to move. So it's not really like, oh, I have to go to the gym, I have to get on a treadmill and take a walk. I can just get outside and go on a bike ride with the kids or go hiking with the kids, go on a walk as a family after dinner. So I really do love the summer. It's also, like I mentioned, a birthday time for me and my family. I feel like it's almost Christmas in June because we have 3 birthdays to celebrate, one after another. So it's always a busy but a really fun time. And this year, my kids are gonna be 3 and 8. So they are, although 5 years apart, they are really into something very similar right now. They both love Toy Story. So it's gonna be really fun. We're gonna have a combined birthday party for the kids. And I think this might be the only year that I'll be able to pull this off, where I can do a combined party for two kids that are 5 years apart and a boy and a girl. But they both, like I said, love Toy Story. So we're gonna do a Toy Story themed birthday party. And I think it's gonna be a really fun celebration. Plus, for me as a mom, I'm like, yes, if I can combine 2 birthday parties into one, yes, please. That sounds like a relief for sure. So I think it's gonna be a really sweet time. And then this year, I turned 40. So it's hard to believe. I actually don't feel like how I imagined when I was younger 40-year-olds to be. When I was little, I just thought 40 was so old. And now I actually am turning 40. And I'm like, man, I feel the same as I always have. I don't feel like I'm changing at all. So I really look forward to kind of starting this new decade of my life and seeing what God has. And I think really, Sean tells me all the time, age is just a number, and it really is all about how you see things. Well, these muffins look beautiful, and you could top them with some additional berries on top just to kind of really bring out that berry look to them. But the berries are gonna kind of break through, and the juice will kind of expand the muffins, and they will turn out beautiful and so delicious. So you're gonna wanna bake these 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Coming up next, juicy tomatoes, fresh veggies, mozzarella, and a homemade Italian dressing. This crowd-pleasing pasta salad can be served as a side dish or a main meal. Well, in my opinion, it wouldn't be summertime without a pasta salad. So we're making an Italian pasta salad that has everything you love about a pasta salad and a little bit lightened up this time. For this recipe, you'll need 1 8-ounce box of pasta, 1 8-ounce package of shredded mozzarella, 1 10-ounce package of grape tomatoes, 1 2-ounce can of black olives, 1 15-ounce can of garbanzo beans, 1 bell pepper, 1 cucumber, 1/4 cup of red onion, 1 cup of Greek dressing. So when I think about pasta salad, for me, it has to have some crunchy veggies, it has to have some chickpeas, it has to have some pasta, of course, cheese, and dressing. So we're just gonna lighten it up. It's gonna be very bulky in fresh veggies, which is perfect because summertime, they are at their peak. They taste the best. And thinking back to pasta salads, I think about church picnics. I have been in church my entire life. The biggest part, I think, of my childhood was going to church events because we went to church not just on Sundays, we went Wednesday night, we went to every home group, we went to every church gathering and picnic, of course, in the summer. And we were always in everything Sunday school. So I think about pasta salads being at church picnics. That's just, I think, what I remember about all of the church picnics. And one of the things I can honestly say, thinking back as I grew up in church, was that the church events often had a lot of food that was on the unhealthy side. So one of the things that I love to do is I love to speak at churches specifically about nourishing our bodies God's way, because we can still enjoy things like pasta salad. We can still enjoy all of our favorites, but let's do it in a way where we're adding more God-made foods and God-made ingredients to our food, and our bodies will absolutely thrive and feel our very best. And so that's what I was thinking of when I thought of how can we make this pasta salad a little bit healthier. So you can see we did add pasta, but it's not a whole lot. In fact, it's mostly veggies. So you still get all the flavors of pasta salad that you love, but in a healthier way. So as I think about the course of my life, and I think about growing up in church, and I think about how important that is to me and my family now, with 2 little kids, we absolutely make it a priority to take them to church. No matter if it seems like a good day, if it seems like it's a hard day to get everyone ready and out the door, we go. That is something that is absolutely important. And I think that that was a big part of, like I said, how I was raised, was realizing that church was essential. And now as I grow older and I realize how important it is to get together with other believers, I realize why. And a huge part of that is I really feel like when we get into isolation, it's really problematic for a lot of reasons. And oftentimes I think the enemy kind of tricks us into thinking, it's no big deal. You won't miss a week here or there. You know, you can just watch it at home. But there really is power in gathering together, especially in worship, in prayer, and just being together in one place, just fellowshipping and spending time with other believers. And I've really seen that over the years in my own life, in my own walk with the Lord, that when I join together with other people, it is so powerful. So one of the things that Sean and I did when we moved here is we started to go to small groups. And it was difficult because we had to find babysitters. We couldn't bring our then 1-year-old to a small group that started at the time, it was his bedtime. So 7 p.m. is the start time for most of these small groups. So what we ended up doing was we offered to host a small group at our house. So we do. Every other Thursday, we have people from our church come over to our house, and then we just tuck in our kids upstairs, and then we have our fellowship downstairs in our family room. And it really was the perfect solution. And there is different ways that you can get together and you can fellowship. And sometimes you just have to be a little bit more creative, especially when you have young kids or it's a hard season of life. But it is so crucial to get together with other believers. And one of the best parts is eating together. So we do try and have food at least every other home fellowship that we do at our house. One of the things I really do love is to be able to show people that you can have like a home cooking meal or something that is a traditional dish like pasta salad in the summertime and just make it a little bit healthier. So you can make this ahead of time or you can make it right before you eat it. The longer it sits, I find it tastes a little bit better, especially when you sit it in the fridge and it chills. And it stays good in your fridge for up to 7 days. All right, I'm gonna be making one of my recipes that has gone viral that I make every single summer. Literally the minute it turns warm outside, you better believe I'll be making this in my kitchen because it's so easy and it tastes better than any kind of special drink that you could get anywhere on a beach. So you just take some frozen strawberries, place it into a blender. I just have a small blender cup, so a regular blender will work just fine. Then you need sparkling water, and that's literally all that you need. Now you could get the flavored sparkling water if you want, that would be really good as well, but just plain sparkling water will do. You could also add like a squeeze of lime or lemon to this, would also be delicious. You want to add just enough sparkling water so that the strawberries are covered. So right up to the line where there's the strawberries, that's about where you want to put your sparkling water. Then you blend. So that looks good. You just want to blend it just until it starts to become almost like a frozen drink there. And then we're going to put it into one of our cups. You can also make this ahead of time. I make it for my kids in big batches, and then I just put it into little mason jars, and then I pull it out for about 30 minutes to an hour, just enough to kind of thaw it out, and then pop some straws in, and they have this while they're playing in the pool. So good, light, refreshing, and it's just strawberries and sparkling water. So how good does that look? So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little taste of this. So good. It has kind of like the tang and the sweetness of the strawberries, and then the sparkling water makes it taste like a fancy drink that you would get on a beach. And whenever summertime rolls around, it has me thinking how a new year has just begun, because it's my birthday, my kid's birthday, and it really brings me back to the fact that life here on earth is short, and we all have a purpose, we all have a mission of why we're here. And I think about, how are we using that time? Are we using it wisely? You know, we're never guaranteed another day or another year of life, but every single year that we're given truly is a gift from God. And it has me thinking about what God has done in the past. I look back at the last 40 years of my life, and I am so amazed at what God has done. And it gets me excited and encouraged to think about what God will do in the future as well. And if you're thinking today, I don't really know what the future holds, I don't really have anything to feel encouraged about or hopeful about, I can promise you this: God has a good plan for every single one of us. Continue to seek God with all your heart and let His desires become your heart's desires, and you'll be amazed at what God does in your heart and in your life in the years to come. Coming up next, this high-protein boat dip is sure to please and couldn't be easier to make with a surprise ingredient. Well, one of my favorite things about summer is it's carefree. You kind of just go with the flow. You don't have as many schedules or routines. And one of the things I especially love about summer is being on the water. So whether it's in a boat or in a pool, on a lake, that's how I grew up. I actually grew up with a boat in our backyard. So that was a really fun part of childhood. And I'm gonna make a high-protein boat dip. For this recipe, you'll need 3 cups of cottage cheese, 1½ cups of salsa, 1 can of green chilies, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 cup of shredded cheese. Now, you might be thinking, what exactly is a boat dip? It's essentially any kind of dip that you could just enjoy sitting on a boat. So you don't need to have it heated up, you don't need it chilled. You can just bring it on the boat, and you can bring some veggies, chips, crackers to serve it with. And it's really easy to bring, really easy to eat, easy to make. That's what summer's all about. Just keep it easy, keep it just very relaxed. And that's what I love about this recipe. You throw everything into a blender, you blend it up until it's smooth, and you have a delicious boat dip. Now, I do keep this in the fridge until we go out for the day. So if you're gonna keep this, let's say, on an actual boat or wherever you're going, picnic, to the beach, you do wanna chill it up until that point that you leave. And then if you're gonna be outside, especially on a really hot day, for a long time, you will want to keep it chilled. So definitely have an ice pack or a cooler, because it does have salsa in it, which salsa has onions and it has tomatoes. You definitely don't want to get those to the point that they're sitting out in the heat for too long. So I would say maybe a little over an hour, you could keep it in really high heat and then chill it again. So my trusty top of my blender is my towel. So definitely you'll want to cover your blender for this, or it'll go everywhere. Okay, so that looks good. What you're looking for is that it will be the texture that you would like to eat a dip. So if you wanted to have some chunks of salsa, you could even stir some salsa in afterwards. Or if you want it to be really smooth, then you can just blend it until it's smooth. I kind of like a happy medium. So if there's some chunks of cheese or green chilies or salsa in there still, that's okay with me. But I know that my kids will be eating this, so I do try and make it mostly smooth. If you have little kids, you probably know what I'm talking about. Chunks are not their friends. So you can, again, eat this just as is, but you could also heat this up for a different type of occasion. So if it wasn't a boat dip and you wanted to serve this along some tortilla chips, let's say for a Super Bowl party, this would be delicious cold or hot. So you could also put it into a little warm plate, like a crock pot, and serve it warm as well, because there's cheese in there, so it will be delicious warm as well. So you could make this literally the moment before you head out of the house, or you can make it up to 5 days before you serve it. Well, summertime is a time to relax, slow down, and simply enjoy. And these recipes are perfect to do just that. They're simple to make, they're fresh, and you can take them with you wherever you go, whether it's a summer party, on a boat, or just relaxing with family, hanging out by the water or outdoors. If you'd like to find these recipes and more just like them, you can head over to dashingdish.com, where you'll find recipes to nourish your body and soul.